In this yearbook video, we're going to look at designing your mods on your page once you've selected your layout. So you're going to start out by navigating to your pages, going to Google Drive, Shared Drive, Holmes Journalism, 2020 Yearbook, 2020 Yearbook Pages, and whatever deadline you're working on, and then you navigate to the folder with whatever pages you want. I'm going to use for my example page 54 and 55. So I'm going to open up that folder. I've got all my photos in there ready to go, and if you look on here 54, 55, I'm going to go ahead and open up that page. Okay, once your page is open, you should see something like this. You should see the paragraph styles window. You should have your toolbar. You should have the Walsworth Control Center. You really don't need that too often, but you want to leave it up there. And then you should have access to pages, layers, links, all of these things here that you'll need. So we're going to start with pages. Oh, by the way, if you don't have any of those things, you can go to Window and look here. And if it doesn't have a check mark by it, for instance, styles, paragraph styles, if I uncheck that, it goes away. If I go Window Styles, Paragraph Styles, it pops up. So you have it all there. First thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to Pages. You've picked your layout design. Okay, these black bars and numbers, when we actually finish the layout, will go away. They're just a guide for you. Okay, and you also want to notice that you have a grid on here. This grid of light blue lines. If you don't see those, go to screen mode normal, because in preview those goes away. That's how you can see what it looks like without the lines. But when you're designing, you want these lines. So there are some things. We have the master pages selected here at first. You'll see some things on there. It says folio copy, all those things. Those are things the editors are going to deal with. So once you have this on your master page, you want to click on your actual pages. And you'll know that you're there because you'll have this nice blue bar around there. Now, I'm going to eventually walk you through what goes in all these mods if you have a two-pager and what you do for a one-pager, but I want to start what applies to both, which is how do you design and what goes in your largest mod on your page or pages, because that is our dominant mod and that is a set thing that should be in there. The number one key to good graphic design is what we call dominance. So we have one dominant mod, and inside that mod, we need one dominant photo. We want this photo to be the biggest thing on the whole page. So generally, what students do when they're starting out is they design it too small. So go big, okay? Now, what you're going to look for is the tool down here, okay, the ones with the X's through it, because that's just an empty frame. And what you're going to want to do very first is think about your very best photo that you have, and you're going to draw a box that you want that photo to go in, and you're going to leave room for a caption. And this dominant large box should touch the center gutter or go over the center gutter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start over here, and really you're not supposed to go above this pink line unless you want to bleed the image off the page. And what that means is you can sort of cut the image all the way to the edge of the page, so you just make sure you don't have anything that's going to possibly get cut off when they trim the pages. So I want this to bleed off the top is what we call it. So I'm going to start my box up here. I'm going to draw it. Notice I'm using those little blue grid lines, okay? Because that's the space we should have between things. And I'm going to come all the way to the bottom here to right there. And I'm going to leave a little bit of room on the right there because I know I'm going to eventually want space for captions. Okay, so that big image is going to be my best picture on the page. And I want to make sure I don't put any faces in these holes here. So I've drawn that box. Now, in this box, we're also going to need to put our headline. And for this book, what I'm thinking we're going to do is sort of have the headline go over the photo some too. So we'll play with that in a second. First, I just want to see what images do I want to put in here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put an image right here. And notice I use those spacers so that I have what's called consistent internal margins, that space in between there and there. So I'm going to put a picture there. And then I'm going to take another one and I'm going to do a nice vertical picture right there. And in fact, you know what? I'm going to switch these two. I want this down here, and I want this up here. And what I'm thinking is I could even open this up all the way to there and leave this one sort of like that. In fact, I'm going to make it a little skinnier too. And this leaves room for captions here, and my headline. So these boxes are where my photos will go. And I'm going to leave those there for now. And notice again that I keep this size gap in between everything. That's super important that we have that gap, okay? We're going to use those grids for everything. So the next thing I'm going to do is grab the type tool, and I'm going to plan where my caption lead in and my captions will go. So the captions need to be next to the pictures that they're of. And I already see a problem because I don't have room for a caption. Oh, I did leave room over here, so I'm good to go. So for this one, I'm going to make a 2-column wide box here for my caption lead in. And what I'm going to do for the time being is I'm going to go over here on paragraph styles once I got that cursor blinking over here, and I'm going to say this is a caption lead in. Because I don't know what photo I'm putting there yet, I'm just going to type in caption lead in. And what's nice, I'm using Command plus to zoom in here. What's nice is it's already in the font that we chose to do caption lead-ins on, and that's the title of your caption. So I've got that there. The box is going across there. That's great. And then I'm going to grab this other thing, and I'm going to try to use the same amount of space that we use in between the other things to draw a new text box. And in here, this one is going to be a caption. So I click caption. And because I don't have all my caption stuff yet, by the way, it does the right font and everything there, I'm going to go to type, and in here it says fill with placeholder text. And all it does is create some text in there that you can replace later, but that way you can see what it looks like and where you're going to do that. Okay. Now, if you don't want to go through all that pain every time you do it, once you have one on the page, I use Shift to click one thing and another, and then I'm going to Command C copy and Command V paste, and I'm going to come over here, and I know that I'm going to have one caption there for this photo, and I know that I'm going to have one caption here using those nice spacers there for this photo. And I'm even going to, I don't like that trapped space between them, so I'm going to bring this down to right about there. That way it's nice and clean, and there's where my captions go. So I've got photo, 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 caption, caption, caption. I said I needed my headline and subheadline. So I'm going to go ahead and drop those on here. And notice that when I'm over one of these square rectangle things here, a circle comes around my cursor, whatever I'm trying to draw. That means it's going to type inside that. We don't want that. So go ahead and find some blank space to draw your headline box. I think it's going to be about that size. And I'm going to click on here, main headline. And for now, I'm just going to put headline in here. And that's the headline font that we have throughout the book. And I'm going to want my headline to kind of go down here on this mod. You can put it down low, up high. It just needs to be where someone can see it. The headline goes there. And then I need another box that I'm going to draw. And I'm going to say subheadline. The subheadline is always what this page is about. So I'm going to put varsity football, because I know that that won't change. That is what this page is about. And so I'm going to put it right down there so it looks nice and clean. And there we have a planned out mod. On these pages, you want to make sure that your biggest mod, you get at least 2, possibly 3 photos in there. You get your headline and your subheadline, and you've got rooms for your caption lead-ins and captions. So once you have that all laid out, that main mod is complete. Now, don't do it just like I did mine every time. Play around with it. Play around with different sizes and different shapes of things, where you want to put things. Because if it looks just like this every time, that's going to be boring. You might have redone this a different way, where you had this over here, and you made it kind of taller and skinnier but still dominant, and then you had these guys over here, and you said, I'm going to do a tall skinny one, and then I want to do a longer horizontal one, and another. Oh, look, I can get 4 in here now, so that's good. The more pictures the better. There's another one there. I can put a caption here, a caption here for this one, and a caption. So that would all work too. I'm going to undo that because I am working with what I'm working with here. That is how you design your first mod. Remember, have something dominant in it, have room for captions and lead-ins, have the same consistent size space, use the grid that we have here, the same consistent size and space between everything, and then that mod is ready to go. I'll show you later how you can drop your images into this mod in the next video.